Hi, my name's Anjosh. I want to tell you as quickly as I can a little bit about future life regression. I came across it over 20 years ago. I've worked with regression for decades and decades. So, um, past life regression, regression to childhood, progression is just going the other way. Um, Past life regression is magical. I mean, it's one of those things that's every session blows me away. Every session is so different and gives you so much information. So I've worked with past life regression mainly, great many years. Then one day I had a couple of military guys come to see me, and they wanted to find out something about the past. So we had this session where we all went back to try and find out the information they needed. And what basically happened was all three of us at the same time jumped forward and saw the future. We didn't actually understand that at the time because what we saw was unprecedented, didn't make sense. What we actually saw was the attack on the Twin Towers 3 weeks before it happened. So it was particularly shocking when we turned on the news. Just like, it's just got so it's catastrophe. We just couldn't get our heads around it. And it was deeply upsetting because we didn't know enough to stop it. We had bits of information. So one of the guys saw two skyscrapers, smoke coming out of them, people on the ground running. One of the other guys saw a bay in America and said somehow the skyline has changed. Why can't we recognize the skyline? And I kept picking up on Middle East and oil, and none of it kind of made sense at the time. So when it happened, it was so horrendous. I can't explain how horrendous it was. Um, and that stayed with us quite a while. But after a little while, we started to think, can we do this again? So we got together and we'd have sessions where we looked into the future. And this went on for a number of years. And we were always right. This wasn't the odd fluke. We consistently, I mean, I particularly would take one of the soldiers into the future. He just said, America's going to invade Iraq. At the time we laughed, this is common knowledge to you now, but at the time we laughed, it sounded so ludicrous. We saw Tusami in the Far East. We saw a black president followed by a blonde president. I could go on and on. We consistently predicted the future. And then I started to work with individuals. So I'd take a client and take them, say, 5 years into the future, and they'd see where they're working, who they're married to, where they're living. Now, what really got me was people started to see what they saw at 5 years, say, would start happening within months. Not every time, but most of the time. It was as if we were bringing the best of the future into our current consciousness. And that I loved, because I often think we can take a long time to get to where we want to be. We go down the wrong roads, we got waylaid by the wrong people, we hold ourselves back. All of a sudden, we were fast tracking the best of the future. And that really appealed to me. And we knew, don't take that job, look how it turns out to take that one. We're making better decisions. From there, I found it took off so quickly. So my life changed dramatically within 3 months. Dramatically, I went from a small office in a bad area to great offices, massive book deal, traveling the world, and the whole thing took off so much that I knew I needed to set up some training. I needed to teach some other people. I knew it was too much just for me to do. I love jumping on planes. I'm still doing that. I'm still turning up places, training, but I knew I couldn't do it all on my own. Plus the fact there's so much we can develop with this. We're looking at weight, addictions, working with young people who are so troubled today. I've done great work in the corporate world. The companies don't know which way to go anymore. The world's changed. So I set up the training thinking I'd have a handful of people to help me. It's ended up spreading worldwide. So that's gone tremendously well. So I'll tell you a little bit about the training. We take people that are experienced in therapies or people that have never done a thing, and they all come out the other side really skilled. It's very simple to teach. We give people everything they need, right from, we give 2 manuals, all the paperwork, every technique is down on paper. We tell you about it, we demonstrate it, then you work with other people. So it's a 3-day training, but during that training, you change a lot, you grow, you change a lot. Because you're being worked on, you're finding out, it changes you. Every time you glimpse a better future, you become part of it. We teach you how to bring that back to you now so that you change, that you have the energy of the future. We teach you how to take people 5 and 10 years into the future, looking at different futures. We zoom around in the past, we go into a future lifetime, and we find your most successful future, your best future, where you've made the right moves. So it's a lovely training. I mean, the feedback we get is incredible. Really, really incredible. I still love working with them. We've got trainers, they're out there in the field, they're in various places doing great work. So that's FLP in a nutshell. Probably talked a bit too much, but there you go. Any questions, let me know.